Thanks for staying with 22 News in Focus. The many programs offered through Rachel's Table are successful due in large part to their dedicated volunteers. Rachel's Table considers itself volunteer-driven. So here now to talk about the importance of volunteers are Steve Lepow and Marla Adelsberger, volunteers at Rachel's Table for Western Massachusetts. So thanks so much for being here, and tell us about what made you want to get involved with Rachel's Table.
I'm actually the second generation of my family with Rachel's Table. My parents used to volunteer, and when I retired, I decided that I wanted to volunteer as well.
And Marla, how about for you?
I actually became familiar with Rachel's Table through the Bountiful Bowls program that a friend of mine with his students was producing the beautiful bowls that you mentioned, and I was helping him doing the glazing, and I got to go to the event, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So I kind of, when I had some time, I signed up to do some driving and kind of put my toe in the water. And then at the start of the pandemic, when things got so scary and it was so clear how many people were having a really hard time with food insecurity, I decided I needed to do more, and I just said yes to every opportunity with Rachel's Table, and they did an amazing job of pivoting and really expanding their programs. So there were lots of things that I could say yes to.
And how long have both of you been involved?
I've been involved for 4 years.
Wow.
And about the same.
About the same.
Although lots of our volunteers can say, 20 years, 25 years, many, many years. So in that way, I think we're kind of newbies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but it's great that you're so committed. And let's talk about some of those programs. Can you be involved in more than one program as a volunteer?
Absolutely. Steve, why don't you say a little bit about what you do, and then I can kind of add.
I'm the van coordinator for Rachel's Table. Originally, I was a driver, and when Rachel's Table got a van a year and a half ago, they asked if I would be the coordinator for it. So I do the scheduling for it. I've got a great bunch of people on my crew. We got 12 people, both male and female.
And how about you?
So definitely, I do food rescue. I drive. I don't have a van, but I do my car. So there's an opportunity there for people to volunteer with food rescue, with dispatching, sending the drivers out on their routes, driving. With the farmers markets, we have folks picking up at the end of the market and bringing that food, beautiful fresh produce, to our partner agencies. For purchasing food, there's an opportunity for people to get involved in that. Certainly with gleaning, and certainly with growing gardens. So there's an opportunity in each of the areas that we're involved with. Also with special events, like you've been hearing about Outrun Hunger and Bountiful Bowls, and even office work. There's an opportunity for people to do things there. There's always, organizing literature that's going out, or social media, all sorts of things there. I think one of the things that I love about Rachel's Table is you can be like Steve, who volunteers most of his waking hours to doing the van, or you can be someone who volunteers one day a month or periodically. So there's an opportunity to get involved in so many varieties of ways.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the van. What role does the van play in Rachel's Table's delivery?
The van has enabled us to actually double the amount of food that we receive from different food donors. We have food from supermarkets, from restaurants, and from C&S wholesale distributors. And we have a set schedule every morning. I tell my van drivers that we're a moving target. You never know when my cell phone's going to go, and there's an additional pickup.
Yeah, and so tell us about how many volunteers do you have at Rachel's Table right now?
Well, there's over 300 volunteers. A significant percentage of those are drivers and dispatchers. And that's a 6-day-a-week operation, so we need as many volunteers as we can get. And we have a lot of regular drivers, but people go on vacation. We could be always happy to have subs and additional people coming in. But there's a lot of people that will do the gleaning, or they'll do one particular program that they're connected with. So we have, like I said, over 300, but we could use more.
And are there specific programs that need more volunteers, or is it just,
I think across the,
general?
I'd say across the board. Or to say it the other way, I think there's an opportunity for someone with an interest to find a place where they would enjoy, and it would be a good fit for them. So.
And do you need to apply to become a volunteer? What's that process look like?
They would either contact our office or go on our website to get more information. And when it comes to van drivers, they get vetted by, they have to bring their license in, copy of their driving record, before they can actually get on the van, and then they go through a training period.
And what's that training period like?
It's basically going out on the road with person that we have that's from the transportation industry, and he gives pointers to them, things you don't even think about.
And is there specific times that you've thought, wow, we really could use more volunteers, specific times in the year, or is it just year round?
I would say year round. In the winter time, we have a lot of volunteers that go south for the winter, so we have a great need then. Basically year round, we always can use additional volunteers.
Although we have dispatchers that are snowbirds, they go south for the winter, and they'll continue to dispatch from wherever they are. So that it speaks to their commitment and how important this is for them.
Yeah, and how old is your youngest volunteer?
Well, you heard
happen
from
to
the
know?
team board members. So,
yeah.
Kids ride with their parents when they're doing deliveries, pickups and deliveries. We have a gentleman who's still driving, who I think is 92.
Wow.
George is. So he's been doing it for a long time, and two of his children are driving too.
Look at that, you know, like you said, family involvement and seeing it, other generations getting involved, and it's great to, like you said, 92, have somebody that can still be involved and willing to help. That's great.
Yeah, we have a lot of second generation drivers. There's, there was a wonderful group that started Rachelstable in the beginning, and some of those have stepped back, but their children have carried on the tradition, and it's something that is really valued by people who've been involved.
Yeah, and what's the best way for somebody to maybe reach out and find out about volunteering? Would they be able to speak with a volunteer about their personal experiences?
Yeah, absolutely. So if people go to the website, which is
feedwma.org, or they could call the office, and the office number is 733.
We have that number up right there for our viewers too. Yeah. Perfect.
And they'll hear from someone very quickly. If someone is interested in gleaning and they check that off, they'll hear from Kara Silverberg. If they're interested in driving or dispatching, they'll hear from Kathy in the office. So their application, if you will, or their interest will go to whomever they'd be responsible to. But they'll hear from a live human being very quickly after that.
And just quickly before we go to the break, what has been both of your favorite parts about this, being involved?
I like the fact that every day changes, because we get a phone call. Like last week, we picked up 3,800 pounds from one of the food donors. Today we got a phone call from Westfield State University, and they've got food for us to pick up tomorrow.
And how about you, Marla?
I think I love what I'm doing, and I do a variety of things, but I think what's most important for me is that I know that what we're doing matters, that it makes a difference.
Yes. Yeah, it makes a difference, and however much time you can volunteer is going to help make a
That's
difference.
right, exactly.
Thank you both for being on the program. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
that.
much.